Hey guys, so in the last video, we looked into how to create equations in Zymbolic, and we looked at things like symbols, modifiers, and functions. Now in this video, we're gonna look at the last couple things that you will need to create any equation you want when using Zymbolic. So go ahead and open up the editor, and let's just dive right in. Okay, so the first thing that I wanna tell you about are superscripts and subscripts. So for example, what if I wanted to type a squared? So the way that you would do this in LaTeX would be to type a, caret, and then 2. And likewise in Zymbolic, if you just go ahead and type a, and then caret, which puts you into superscript environment, and then 2, it accomplishes the exact same thing. So again, that's a, and then the caret to put you into superscript environment, and then 2, and I can actually type whatever I want in this particular environment. But if I just want to write square, then I can just write that 2, and then hit enter, just like that. And analogously, in LaTeX, if I wanted to create a subscript, I would just type a underscore I, just like that. And the way that I do in Zymbolic is the exact same thing, a underscore, which puts me into subscript environment, and then I just type I, just like that. And of course, you can use both superscripts and subscripts, so I could also just type the caret to do a sub I squared, just like that. Okay, and then one thing I should note is you might know that in LaTeX, some symbols have special superscript and subscript behavior. So if, for example, I write out sum to create a large sum and then do underscore, this allows me to write the initialization conditions for the sum. And if I type superscript, just like that, then I can type out the limits of that particular accumulator. And so again, this is just an effort to basically make it so that you can create any equation in Zymbolic that you could have created in LaTeX, just like that. Okay, now on the subject of superscripts and subscripts, I want to tell you about primes. So what if I want to type a prime? All I have to do is type a, and then single quote to create a prime, and I can just keep on touching single quote to create as many primes as I want on that particular a. Now, if I think that I have too many primes on that a, which I think is very much the case right now, all I have to do is type double quote to get rid of those primes. So again, single quote to create primes, double quote to get rid of primes, just like that. Wonderful. Okay, so next up, I want to tell you about parentheses. So in one sense, there's really nothing special about creating parentheses in Zymbolic. All you have to do is type open parentheses, a plus b, and then close parentheses. However, there are some situations like, for example, if I type open parentheses and then I created something like a over 2 and I type close parentheses, you'll notice that the parentheses don't really look right because they aren't the same size as the thing that they're enclosing. And so in order to change your parentheses from something that looks like this to an automatically resizing parenthesis, all you have to do is just type close parentheses one more time, and then just like that, now the parentheses resize to fit whatever's inside of them. So from the top, again, open parentheses, fraction, which we'll go over next, and then just 2 close parentheses to make the parentheses resize to whatever is inside of them. And I'd also like to note that this works just as well for braces and brackets. And so if I typed open bracket, a over 2, and then close bracket once, doesn't resize, and then if I hit the close bracket again, now it does resize. So just like that, that allows you to basically create any resizing parentheses or brackets that you would need in Zymbolic. Okay, so there's one more use case that I would like to address that you might encounter when you want parentheses. So if I type a plus b plus c, after I type a plus b plus c, let's say that I realize that I actually want to write a plus b plus c squared. So I want to enclose the quantity that I just wrote in parentheses and then type squared. In order to do that, it's actually, again, very easy. All I have to do is just type close parentheses once, and then I can use the left and right arrow keys to indicate what I would like to include in this new parentheses that I just made. So I can go ahead and note that, and now I'm satisfied. And I can then go into superscript mode, press 2, and now I have a plus b plus c squared, just like that. And just to distinguish between this and the previous method, the way that this works is that Zymbolic notices that if I create a close parentheses here, it notices that there isn't a corresponding open parentheses, and then so it automatically goes into this mode where I can toggle between what I want to be included in the parentheses. Okay, so fantastic. All right, next up, I want to tell you about fractions. Now, you actually can create fractions using the same method that I told you guys about last time, which is just type out frac, which is the symbol that you would use in LaTeX to create fractions, and then just like that, you can create fractions. However, because fractions are so ubiquitous in math and you use them all the time, there's actually a special shortcut in Zymbolic that makes creating fractions even so much easier. So let's say, for example, I wanted to create 1 over 2. If I tap 1 and then 2 forward slashes / it automatically puts the 1 in the numerator, and I can just tap 2 in the denominator, and boom, just like that, I have 1 over 2. And if, for example, I have something like a plus b, and I want the quantity a plus b over 2, I can go ahead and once again type double slash, and then I can use the left and right arrow keys, just like with parentheses and just like with function wrappers. I can use the left and right arrow keys to indicate what I would like to be included in the numerator from the preceding symbols, and then once I'm satisfied, I can hit enter, and then use that 2, and now I have my desired quantity, a plus b over 2. So just one more time, a plus b, double forward slash, use the arrow keys to indicate what I would like to be included in the numerator, and then just press 2, and just like that, I have the particular function that I want to see, or that I want to write. All right, fantastic. Okay, so the last thing that I want to tell you about in this particular video is how to use regular text. Now, there are some situations, despite how powerful the equation editor is, there are some situations where you actually do want just plain regular text in your equations. So, for example, if I want to write otherwise and then some particular thing, here's how I would do it. I would type double quote, and then I go ahead and just type otherwise, and you'll notice that after I write double quote, it kind of creates this special environment, this special regular text environment. And if I want to get out of that, I just hit double quote again, and now I can go back to using regular math just like I would normally do. So again, one more time, let's say if I want to write if x is greater than y, z is equal to y, something like that, I can type double quote, if, and then x is greater than y, and then once again, double quote, then close quote, what would I say? X is equal to z, something like that. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, again, so that is how you create regular text in your equations. You just use double quote and then end double quote when you're finished. And I would like to note that you can literally write whatever you want. Everything's escaped. And all you have to do to get out of that is just type double quote again. So just like that. That allows you to create whatever regular text you want to see in your particular equation. Okay, great. So that is actually all you need. Both the previous video and this video basically gives you everything you need to create literally any equation that you need or want in Zymbolic. And in the next 2 videos, I'm going to show you a couple extra little tips that you can use to make Zymbolic even faster. And in the first one, we're going to look at some shortcuts. And then in the preceding video after the next video, we're going to look at snippets, which in my opinion are the most powerful feature of Zymbolic. So make sure you stay tuned for those, and I will see you there.